Brad TRELIVING, you got it done. Now, I'm gonna go out there and say this. This news was literally just mentioned a few minutes ago, and we don't know the number. We don't know the contract amount, but it doesn't really matter because it's a one-year deal, right? Tyler Bertuzzi is heading over to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and even though nothing is official, they are working away at that one-year deal. Darren Dreger went out there and said this, yeah, he is indeed heading to Toronto. It's 1 year long, so because it's that length, I mean, the dollar amount doesn't really matter at the end of the day because he's gonna only be there for a year. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Tyler Bertuzzi, even though we had seen some reports saying that he was looking for something in maybe the 5-year-ish range with a few $1 million on top of that, this 1-year contract with the Toronto Maple Leafs goes out there and fulfills every Maple Leafs fan's expectations when you talk about the rumor mill. Because everybody was talking about, oh, what if Tyler Bertuzzi went to the Leafs? What if the Leafs got Bertuzzi? What if they traded for him at the deadline? And that didn't happen. He went to the Bruins. There's a plane outside, so you can hear that in the audio. I apologize. Tyler Bertuzzi was a former Red Wing who was very capable and very good. Under a point per game last year, 62 points, 68 games played, had 14 points in 29 games this season, albeit in a limited sample. He got sent over to the Bruins, 16 points, 21 games in the regular season, and 10 points in 5 games against Florida. He was a -4, which is not great, but he had 26 penalty minutes in the process too, which, if I do the math off the top of my head, 7, 14, 21, 28, that was about 3-point-something penalty minutes a game, which is something, I guess you could say. Tyler Bertuzzi is an agitator. He's a guy who has some pretty alright mobility when he's on his game, and he has a really great scoring touch too. He's a net front presence, he has some really nice one-touch passing ability. He actually had a really good showcase in the postseason, I remember. This is really where I felt that Bertuzzi showed off most of his value for the Boston Bruins, in front of the net on that power play, making quick passes to the back door for Pasta to tap it in, scoring himself when need be. He had 10 points in 7 games, 5 goals, 5 assists. He was almost at a goal a game in the postseason against Florida. Bertuzzi is exactly the type of player that I feel the Toronto Maple Leafs could benefit the most from, and as NHL Watcher says, he is the kind of player they just need, straight up. He's got grit, he's got skill, he's got mobility, and even if it's only for 1 year, even if he goes to free agency next year and he signs a massive contract with some other team, this prove-it scenario is one that I think could benefit both parties tremendously. Because it's only 1 year, it doesn't really matter if it's a lot of money or a little amount of money, but what this really does is it gives Bertuzzi that chance to go over to Toronto, be used in a spot where you know he's going to be used, because, yeah, when it comes to Sheldon Keefe and the way this Maple Leafs team has been trending the past few years, you kind of know what exactly it is they're looking for out of their guys, and Bertuzzi fulfills that pretty well. He's hopefully going to get a big role in this Toronto squad. He's hopefully going to get himself a big money contract next year, but it's all going to depend on what happens in 23-24. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Tyler Bertuzzi heading over to the Toronto Maple Leafs. At the time, we don't know the number, what the AAV is, but it doesn't really matter. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.